Hey MomoCon, I am so excited to be here with you on Twitch TV for MomoCon's 2020 online experience. So today I will be leading out in a panel discussion talking about customizing your cosplay to fit your confidence. And I'm really excited about that subject because it's something that I enjoy doing, kind of making cosplay my own. And I hope that you can get something from this panel. So before we get started, I just want to wish everyone a good weekend, happy con experience. Guys, stay safe, and this is going to be over soon, and then we'll get to hang out with each other in Atlanta for MomoCon 2021. But we can't do that unless you are staying home, washing your hands, making sure that you're safe and your loved ones are safe, and let's just make sure that we work together to try to get this over with as soon as possible. The thing that I love most about cosplay is the creativity in it. Before I even kind of dabbled into cosplaying on my own or getting into wearing my own cosplay, I really enjoyed looking online and seeing all the different pictures and all of the people that were cosplaying and the way that they wore their costumes or how they interpreted the love of their character or their fandom. And so I think that in cosplaying for myself, I've really come to appreciate the customization and the creativity behind cosplay. So today I want to talk to you about customizing your own cosplays to fit your personality, but also to keep you comfortable. So let's talk a little bit about that, but first I want to introduce myself. Right, so who am I? I am Fern, like the plant. But I go by Purple Moon Cosplay, and I am a cosplayer. I just am out of cosplay today, which is a shame because I really miss MomoCon weekend and getting to wear all of my cosplays that you can see behind me. But safety first, which is a really, really good thing. And, I'm kind of chilling and taking it easy today. I call these my quarantine buns. I hope you guys like them. But this is pretty much my stay at home and work hairstyle. Has nothing to do with customizing your cosplay. It's fine. So I actually started looking at and observing cosplay a really, really long time ago, but I wasn't brave enough to actually start cosplaying until about 5 years ago. My husband and I got married and we decided that we wanted to use our kind of vacation time to go to cons. And I was so excited because I'd always wanted to cosplay, but I was never brave enough to go and do it by myself. I was also not really brave enough to kind of put my body into some of the costumes that I really liked and saw on my characters. And so I decided that I was going to start customizing my own cosplay. I think that cosplay is one of those rabbit holes that once you do it once, you just have to continue doing it. And you have to get better and better and better. And I think that's such a really great thing. And so that's what I've been doing. And customizing cosplay is just something that it's a challenge to me, and I really like to see how can I take this character and make this character fit me. I want to make sure that I am paying all kinds of respect to the actual character because there are always things about the characters and the fandoms that we love, which is why we cosplay them. But how can I make it personal? And how can I make sure that I'm comfortable playing or cosplaying this character? Okay, so I actually have an assignment for you guys. Since we're not together in person, face to face, this is not something that we could talk about or do in an actual panel. So what you'll need for this panel, really just an open mind. You will need a body, preferably your own. You will need some creativity and no judgment of any kind. You will also need a favorite character or fandom, as we just discussed. Before I lead a discussion or teach anything, I like to define terms because always remember that there are people who know less than you about a subject you may be excited about, and there are also people who know more than you. But because you can't necessarily know who those people are, you should always be willing to define or explain some of the things that you think are kind of normal for your world or whatever. But while I'm defining those terms, hopefully in your mind, you can kind of think about what these terms mean to you. And then comment in the comment section. I'm not sure which side it's on. I think this side or the comment section below. And let me know if any of these terms jump out at you and they're just something that you want to understand more, or that you want to talk about a little bit. The first term is cosplay. What is cosplay? Well, cosplay is broken down into two words, costume and play. And it is basically when people honor the fandoms and the characters that they love by dressing up as those characters within those fandoms, however they feel comfortable or however they feel represents that character. I added that last part because I think that representation matters, but how you feel about a character or how you want to portray that character is very important to the actual cosplayer's creativity. So what does cosplay mean to me? To me, cosplay means it's really therapy. Making cosplay for me is therapy. It's a form of escape from the real crappy world that we sometimes live in. But it's just another way for me to use my creativity to do something that I really love. There are characters that I love, like Raven, who's one of my favorite characters. When I was growing up, I really could identify with her. And so cosplaying her meant a lot to me, and being able to interpret that cosplay into something that I felt could fit me meant a lot to me. And so to me, cosplay is just a way to express my creativity and the love for my fandom. So what does cosplay mean to you? Comment in any one of the comment boxes on either side or below, and just let me know what cosplay means to you. So a while ago, when I was thinking about this topic for MomoCon, I actually asked my husband what cosplay meant to him. We were talking about customizing cosplay, and I was worried that people might not get it or might not understand or might think, well, you can't customize your cosplay because then it won't be canon, blah, blah, blah. And he said something that I had to write down because it was profound, and it explained exactly what we're talking about in this class. So I am going to read it because I want to make sure that I get it word for word, because it is not my quote. Again, it's my husband's. And he said, cosplay is your interpretation of a character, your self-expression, your creative contribution to the cosplay world. Think of it as fan art. Cosplay is the exact same thing. It's fan art. It's a fan's interpretation of a character they love and a fan's contribution to a fandom they love. So basically, if you think about it that way, then there really is, canon only belongs to comic books, in my opinion. I think when it comes to cosplay, there's creativity, customization, and fan art. Okay, so what does it mean to actually customize something? Well, basically, it's making small changes to something to fit whatever the situation is. So for me, when I'm customizing most of my cosplay, it's because I run more on the plus size, and I have to make sure that my costumes can fit me and fit me well. Not only fit me so that they look good, but fit me so that I feel good. And so when I'm making costumes, let's be honest, most of the characters that are out there, especially in anime, are not going to be plus sized. And so I have to customize the clothing that I'm wearing that make up the cosplay so that it can fit me, so that I can still have some resemblance to the character I'm playing. So customization is basically making changes to something. So what is canon? I know that you've heard me say that word probably a couple of times. Canon is actually the opposite of fan fiction. With canon, that is the officially accepted storyline and or character for that fictional world. Now, I want to emphasize fictional because a lot of us forget that the characters that we're playing are fictional. They're not real. And so there can't really be so much accuracy or strictness applied when we are playing characters, because these characters are fictional and most people are not going to look like the characters outside of tons of makeup and cosplay. So canon is what is officially recognized as that character or that character's world. Fan art is not officially recognized, but fan art is the customization of that canon. So another thing that I want to touch on before we get into customization, for the world's longest intro to the panel, is body positivity. I actually thought about doing a panel on body positivity, but it's not something that I've always felt that I was an expert in or could speak on. But recently, I've changed my mind about that. So let's talk a little bit about body positivity. And again, if you have any thoughts or comments or feelings about what I'm saying, please put them below or on the side. Again, I don't know which side, but this is like a panel. And so please freely express yourself. I do have to remind you to always be kind, but I think that this is an open forum. So let's talk a little bit about body positivity. I want to start with what body positivity is not. Body positivity is not shaming or hating bodies that don't look like yours. Body positivity is not comparing whose body is better. That's not the mindset that we should have when we talk about body positivity. Body positivity is not guilt of any kind. And body positivity is not ignoring or jeopardizing your health so that you can look like a certain body type. So that is what body positivity is not, at least to me. If you think I missed anything or you have thoughts on what it shouldn't be, then comment below. So what is body positivity? Okay, so to me, body positivity is loving and appreciating the diverse body types that exist. And I'm talking all body types, from this end of the spectrum to this end of the spectrum. I think that it is also appreciating your own body and loving your own body, which I have to say does not come easily and is something that you really have to intentionally do, especially when there are so many things about our bodies that we can hate. And so when we're talking about body positivity, I think with the plus size movement that we've had lately, we automatically think body positivity means that you have to love people that are bigger than you, etc., etc. But that is not necessarily the case. I have met people who are smaller than me who really don't like their bodies. They're not comfortable with their bodies, or they wish they were bigger or they had more curves. I've met people my size or bigger that wish they were smaller. I've met people who were darker than me who wish they were lighter, and vice versa. People who were shorter that wish they were taller. I think that body positivity includes all of the things that we can think of when we think of how much we hate our bodies and things that we don't like about our bodies, and coming to terms with the fact that no, our bodies aren't perfect, but we should love them anyway, and we should try our best to see the good things about our bodies. And that was really hard for me. I've had a lot of issues with accepting my body. I've had eating disorders. I have gotten rid of all of the mirrors in my house so that I wouldn't have to look at how ugly I was. And that's my personal story. But I am trying every single day intentionally to, when I wake up and I go to the bathroom and there's this big glaring mirror in my face and I'm looking in the mirror like, oh my God, what has morning done to me? That instead of saying, I hate this and I hate that and I hate that, and oh my God, I'm so ugly today, that intentionally in my head I say, actually, my body just woke me up this morning and it just dragged me into this bathroom despite the fact that I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning because I refused to treat my body better. And I should appreciate the fact that I can still move and that I can still get ready for work and that I can still go to work and do physical things. And so if we think about all of the things that our bodies can do for us and that they do for us every day, I think that being a little more positive about this shell that we're in, it comes a little bit easier. And if you are someone who struggles with an insecurity, and when I say if you are someone, I mean all of us. I have not yet met anyone in my entire life that is not insecure about something, then I think that we can probably ease up on ourselves a little bit and say, you know what? This is something that I can fix if I try, or if it's something that you can't fix, learn to live with it. Love it, appreciate it. We really need to take better care of our bodies because it's the only one that we have. And I hope that that expresses a little bit to you what body positivity means to me. So is there only one type of body positivity? And again, I mentioned before that a lot of times when we think of body positivity, we think of plus size body positivity. And that's a thing because for so long, I think those of us who are plus sized were underappreciated. We have not always been able to find clothing in stores, and it's sometimes really hard to wear something bigger than a size 10. And so when we're talking about body positivity, we do tend to think of one type of body, but body positivity, just like everything else should be, is all inclusive of all bodies. And so we really need to learn to appreciate the diversity of all the body types that we see. And that includes size, height, shades, all of it. Whether you can walk on 2 legs or you have to sit in a wheelchair, I think that body positivity includes being positive and being empathetic to all body types. So do you always have to be comfortable with your body all the time? And to that, I say a resounding no, because we're talking about body positivity, not body perfection. And so I don't think that anyone is going to ever be completely happy with their body all of the time. I mean, honestly, it's a thing we should like aim to do, but body positivity is appreciating your body for what it is and where it is at this time. And again, I will always say that if there's something that you don't like that you can change, then make time to change it, because I mean, our bodies deserve like the good things that we can do for it. But if it's something that you can't change, then you should learn to live with it and learn to appreciate it. And that's really what body positivity is. It's just being positive about our bodies and the things that our bodies do for us. Okay, so what in the world does body positivity have to do with customizing your cosplay and all of that? It really has everything to do with it, because if you're not comfortable in your own skin, then it's going to be really difficult to get comfortable being in someone else's skin, if that makes any sense. And so if there are characters that I want to cosplay and they look a certain way and I'm not comfortable wearing the things that they may wear because I don't have the body shape in order to do that, should that keep me from cosplaying them? No, and you may disagree. Put it in the comments if you do and give us a good reason why. I think that you should be able to cosplay anyone that you want to cosplay. If you love a character so much that you want to be that character, that you want to cosplay that character, then you should be able to. And customizing cosplay, being able to change the clothing just a little bit to make you more comfortable but still honor that character, I think that's really important. And it goes like this with body positivity, because the more that we can be comfortable in the cosplay skin that we're in, I had to, then I think the more fun cosplay becomes. If you're wearing something and you're uncomfortable the entire convention, then how much are you going to enjoy that convention? Instead of looking really fun and happy in your pictures, you'll kind of be posing like, hey, I'm in cosplay. That was unattractive, I'm sure, but it makes my point. You know, you really want to be comfortable in your cosplay and you want to have fun. You had fun when you were sitting down binge watching Teen Titans, right? Then you want to have fun when you're playing Raven. I know I keep going back to Raven, but I really like Raven. So, you know, just you want to be comfortable in your cosplay skin, in your cosplays, in your clothing, and you should be. You have the right to be, and cosplay is for everyone. I don't care what you say, period. It is for everyone, and everyone can cosplay, and anyone can cosplay anyone. So I have a disclaimer before we go any further that when we're talking about customizing your cosplay and body positivity and wearing certain things, it is in no way intended to bash or to disrespect those who are comfortable wearing certain things. I will give an example. I am not comfortable wearing leotards. I am not going to do it. I will probably never wear a leotard. I don't like them and I don't feel comfortable in them. But I've seen cosplayers who can rock a leotard from here to Nevada. I don't know why I said Nevada, but I've seen cosplayers who look absolutely wonderful in their leotards that are part of their cosplays, and I think that that is amazing. But they're comfortable in those leotards, and I am not comfortable in a leotard. And there may be others who aren't comfortable wearing certain pieces, which is why I wanted to talk about this specific topic. So mad respect to anyone who cosplays however they want to cosplay. You are part of this. You are welcome here. This is my disclaimer that cosplay is for everyone, even if you want to wear a leotard. So why would you want to customize your cosplay? Well, for one, your skill level. For me, when I first got started in cosplay, I played Louise from Bob's Burgers. That was my first cosplay. Hold on. Okay, so this was my dress for Louise from Bob's Burgers, and it's kind of bright, sorry, but as you can see, this fabric is terrible. I really just wanted to cosplay, and I loved Louise, and I thought this is going to be easy. I can make a tunic with my eyes closed. When I'm looking at it now, I can see the stitching here. It's uneven right here on the neckline. This is like the most wrinkliest fabric. That's a word, quote me. It is the most wrinkliest fabric that I could find at Joann's for the price, because I didn't really know a lot about like fabrics for cosplaying or whatever, but I wore this costume and I felt so good in it. And I had these really floppy, wobbly ears that they stood up on their own when I first made them. But by the time I walked through the doors of MomoCon, because that was like the first time I actually cosplayed, when I walked through the doors of MomoCon, the ears were like down here, and I was like, oh man, my ears flopped. But I was on my way to a panel, and I was by myself, and I'm an introvert, so I don't like public places with a lot of people, although I feel that I'm most comfortable at conventions, which is really weird. But I was walking down the hall and some random person yelled, "Hey, it's Louise from Bob's Burgers! Hey, Louise!" And that made my entire day. I just was so happy that somebody recognized my cosplay, and I was so happy that even though I didn't have the right fabric, and I tried really hard, and I mean, I even hemmed it. It's like, it looks good, I know how to sew, but it was my first cosplay, and I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. And I had to customize the dress to fit my body and to be comfortable enough to sit in and to walk in. And so knowing that people recognize that costume, even at that skill level that I was at, it felt really good. And so sometimes we see characters and we want to play that character. Let's give an example, armor. You may not yet be really good working foam or Warbler, but you really want to cosplay someone who wears a lot of armor. Well, how does that person look outside of their armor? Maybe you can, create a cosplay of that person outside the armor. But skill level has a lot to do with why we would want to customize a cosplay, because we're not necessarily here yet when it comes to our cosplaying skills, cosplay making skills. But we still want to cosplay that character. So one reason to customize is because of the skill level. I think that it's possible to always grow as long as you keep practicing. But when you first get started, that should never be what keeps you from doing a cosplay or from wearing a cosplay, because I'm not good enough. Yes, you can be good enough. YouTube says you can with all the videos out there. Twitch says you can with the videos out there. So many books and patterns and things like that. You can learn how to do exactly what you want to. But in the meantime, do a casual cosplay and customize something so that you can still kind of enjoy your con experience, right? Another reason that you might want to customize a cosplay is for a gender bend. So I was Darth Vader. Although thinking back on it now, when I pulled that costume back out after we got home and I needed to wash it, I looked a little more closely and I realized that it looked more like Kylo Ren than I did Darth Vader. I don't know. But the point is, those are males and I'm a female. And sometimes you really, really want to cosplay a character that is of a different gender than how you identify. And so what you can do is you can customize that costume so that you can wear it as the gender you identify with and still be able to cosplay that character. So customization comes also because of gender bend cosplays. Another reason that you might want to customize your cosplay is probably the biggest reason of all, and that is because, I mean, honestly, does anybody have like the canon body type? Do any of us look like the characters that we want to cosplay? I don't think so. And so we have to customize our cosplays anyway. Even if you order a costume in the mail and it comes in and you try it on, you still have to maybe take out something or pull in something or tuck in something or lengthen or shorten something, because no one is built like the characters that the animators and illustrators make the characters out to be. None of us look like that. None of us are Barbie dolls. And so we always have to customize some small part of our cosplay, and not having the correct canon body type is the main reason we customize. So where even do you start with customizing your cosplay? I think that the easiest place to start, and this is if you are really at a beginner or maybe right above beginner skill level in anything, is a casual or closet cosplay. Those are some of my most favorite cosplays to do and to see. I will give a quick story about a time that I failed at a cosplay. And actually, you can read about it on my blog. I talk about how my Carmen Sandiego cosplay fail helped me learn a little bit about chilling out when it comes to my cosplay. And just sometimes it's okay to casual cosplay. It doesn't always have to be handmade and, you know, painted and made out of foam and warbler. Sometimes you can purchase a dress and purchase a hat and carry a lightsaber that you also purchased and walk around con feeling the bomb. So that's what happened to me. I was trying to make a hat for my Carmen Sandiego cosplay because I wanted my hat to look exactly like the Carmen Sandiego on Netflix. And it would have worked if I had done it right. And I was under crunch and all the things went wrong at the same time. And so we get to the hotel and I go to try the hat on and it doesn't fit and I'm through. And so my very patient husband was like, okay, seriously, just order a hat. You've got plenty of time. Amazon will have it here at the hotel in like a couple days. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to order the hat because I wanted to make the hat because make from scratch. And he was like, order the hat and let's get something to eat. But seriously, he really doesn't talk to me like that. But in my head. But I ordered the hat and I just knew that it wasn't going to match the dress, which wasn't going to match the shoes, and everything was going to be all wrong. And so very begrudgingly, I opened the hat and I tried it on and I was like, fine, it matches the dress. And then the next day, very begrudgingly, I put it on the last day of con and went in, you know, to go to some panels, and it felt like I was just dressed for church or something like that. But I think more people stopped me to compliment me on that casual cosplay and to ask for pictures than they had my Shadow Weaver cosplay that I made entirely from scratch and that took me like 4 weeks to do. So my point is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a casual cosplay, especially when you can order the dresses and the hats and the shoes and all the things that you need to wear to fit you and feel really comfortable all day. And I have to admit, and I did already admit to my husband, he was right, which he doesn't hear very often, by the way. And I have to admit that I was very comfortable in that cosplay all day long, and I couldn't have asked for a better last day con experience. So where do you start? Just try a closet cosplay. Go into your closet and see what you have that could really be the character that you want to cosplay. I wanted to give you an example of the perfect closet cosplay, and it's been one of my favorite to cosplay. I think I've done it like 3 times. And generally, we like to do a casual cosplay on like the very first or the very last day of con, just because we want to be in kind of chill mode. And so Jessica Jones is perfect because really all you need is a pair of jeans, a black shirt, and it doesn't have to be a black leather jacket, but if you can get your hands on one, that's even better, and some black boots or black shoes, and just wear your hair however you wear it, and, you know, look a little rough around the edges like you haven't slept and you've been drinking all night. I mean, if you're at a convention, that's basically how we walk around looking anyway. So if you want to, you can just grab a camera and just put on some jeans and a shirt and a jacket and you're Jessica Jones. I mean, honestly. And then also that gives me an excuse to get some really great pictures of other cosplayers that I wouldn't have gotten if I was in costume and couldn't wear the camera. And so if you think of characters like that, do you like Powerpuff Girls? I do, and that's why I'm using them as an example. I love Buttercup. Do you have like a black skirt and a green top? How about Scooby-Doo? Do you have the orange sweater and the red skirt and some glasses? Maybe a wig, but a book I think will do. Take a couple pictures and you're Daphne. I think that if you start doing that and just kind of dabbling into cosplay by doing closet cosplays or casual cosplays, then you gain a little more confidence. And that is where I would say you should get started in customizing your cosplays. So besides that, which was one of the ways that you can customize your cosplay, I've got 5 more ways that you can customize your cosplay. And the first is to really just look for creative ways to wear different pieces. If you're uncomfortable in something, then try to think of a really creative way to imitate that piece of clothing or that thing that you're uncomfortable in so that you can still wear the cosplay. I'll give you an example. Hold on. Okay. This is my tunic, and I made this tunic to wear with my Raven cosplay, and I'll have pictures right here for you to see a clearer, I guess, picture of it. But I made this tunic to wear with my Raven cosplay because, as I mentioned before, I'm not comfortable in a leotard. Anyway, I really wanted to cosplay Raven, and I had to think of kind of a creatively out-of-the-box way to cosplay Raven with still kind of the essence of the leotard without actually wearing the leotard. I love tights, very thick tights or leggings. And so underneath this tunic, I wore black leggings, and then I wore my purple, I think, combat boots. And it was this actual cape with all of the feathers behind it that made the Raven costume. And so in customizing one part of my cosplay, I was able to concentrate on being really creative with another part of the cosplay. And the cape with the feathers that actually dropped all over MomoCon 2 years ago, sorry guys, those were my feathers. That's how I was able to customize the Raven cosplay, but still look like Raven. I was recognizable because of the wig and the makeup and the cape. So another example would be maybe a tight-fitting bodysuit. Some of us may not be comfortable in a bodysuit, so how in the world are you going to play some of the characters that wear them? Well, maybe you could wear or make a jumpsuit. They're a little looser, but they still have the full body effect. And then you can tuck in the pants to boots, or you can wear them out. You could make a dressier version of that character. You can interpret it any way you want to, but a jumpsuit is a great alternative to a bodysuit. What about a breastplate? Or if you're not comfortable wearing a corset? Well, a turtleneck kind of has the look, and you can use different crafting materials to create the essence of a bodysuit and or a corset. And so just kind of thinking of ways or other pieces of clothing that you're more comfortable in that can resemble those items of clothing that you're not comfortable in is a great way to customize your cosplay, but doesn't keep you from wearing that cosplay. Oh, and if you don't have a jumpsuit, like say you have a character that wears a completely black bodysuit like Catwoman, well, do you have some really comfortable pants or leggings that you can wear with another comfortable tank top or t-shirt? Then as you know, they match and they'll look like one piece in pictures, then there's your bodysuit. You're comfortable, you still look like Catwoman, and you still had an awesome time at the convention because you weren't pulling bodysuits out of your butt all day. So another way to customize your cosplay is to layer pieces. And what I mean by that is if you are wearing a really short skirt or short shorts and you're not really comfortable, let's be completely honest, I've got a good sized thigh area. And that means that I don't always want to be walking around con with the insides of my thighs rubbing together all day. I'm sorry, let's just keep it real in this panel. We're talking about customizing your cosplay for bodies that may not fit into cosplays. And so for me, when I wear a shorter skirt and or shorts, I wear leggings or tights underneath them. They're really comfortable. If the tights match the skirt and or shorts, then it's kind of a seamless look. Or you can buy skin color, and that way you still have the look of naked legs, but you're a little more comfortable underneath. Tights also help to hold you in, which is very good. They work as kind of a very mild corset, or like Spanx, and you're just a little more comfortable. So look for ways to layer your clothing so that you can also feel comfortable in cosplay. And while we're talking about shorts and skirts, if you are uncomfortable in some of the really short skirts that a lot of our anime characters wear, then you can always lengthen a skirt. Now, granted, this one would be for those of us who may be sewing our own cosplays, but that is an option for you if that is something that you want to do. Or you can go shopping on Amazon, which is one of my favorite places to shop for clothing at this point because of social distancing. You can go to Amazon and look for versions of that skirt and or shorts that are similar in color, similar in style and fabric, and that may be a little bit longer. So lengthen your pieces and or shorten them for comfort if that's how you want to customize, but that's another way you can do that. And some of you may be like, well, why would I want to lengthen a skirt? Okay, so I was on Pinterest the other day, which is a rabbit hole, and I was looking at a lot of Wonder Woman customizations for the older Wonder Woman cosplay. So I saw that some cosplayers had taken Wonder Woman's basic skirt, armor, breastplate look, and in their own interpretation, they created a 40s style Wonder Woman. So back then, the skirts were longer, and you had probably a little more length to your shirts as well. It was very retro, in other words. And so they had kind of like the belt and the skirt with the stars and then the red up here. And you could see that they were cosplaying Wonder Woman, but it was just their interpretation of a different era for that cosplay. And so that's another way that you could customize your clothing, is kind of make it an era style cosplay, if that makes sense. I mean, do you like steampunk? Then take a cosplay that you love and interpret it into steampunk so that it looks more steampunk and you're more comfortable, and that's actually really cool. So I think that we call a lot of those cosplays mashups, when you find an era that you really like and then you take different characters that may not be from that era and just kind of mash it together to make one cosplay. Love that. And if it's not a mashup, it's really basically just your personal interpretation of the cosplay. So if you love the Star Trek dresses or the Star Trek uniforms, okay, I don't watch Star Trek, I'm sorry. But if you love their uniforms, but you don't like the shortness of the tunic, you can always lengthen the tunic, because the look that Star Trek is known for is not necessarily the length of the dresses or the uniforms that the women wear. It's the color combination and the little emblem that they wear here or here, one of these places. And, probably because it's science fiction. And so if you, again, customize your cosplay to fit your personality, your style, and your comfort level. Another way you can customize your cosplay is to make it gender neutral. I love Black Butler, and I am going to cosplay Black Butler one day. I am not a Black Butler looking person, but I am still going to do it, which means that I can wear a tux and probably it'll be a cool thing to do. But what if I want to, instead of wearing tuxedo with a pant, maybe wear the tuxedo with a circle skirt? And so I am going to customize that cosplay to fit my personality. I love circle skirts, and also to fit my gender, or the gender that I identify with. And the last kind of how you would customize your cosplay idea that I have is to purchase and embellish. Some of the most fun and best cosplays that I have seen are those that people have purchased and then just embellished to make their own. And what I mean by embellished is just decorated or just added something to it. You don't have to make 100% of your cosplay in order to be a real or true cosplayer. Sometimes ain't nobody got time for that. Sometimes ain't nobody got the skill level for that. And sometimes you just want to buy a costume. I don't always have that option because I am plus sized, which means I've had to learn to make most of my costumes, and that's okay. But for those who have the option, I think it's perfectly the coolest thing ever to buy your costume and then fix it up to make it your own. A person that I know and love and live with who is really good at doing that is my husband. He looks just like Spider-Man when he wears that tag-gum Spider-Man outfit. I love every minute of that. He was Frozone, and he wore Frozone, and you could have sworn he was Frozone. He purchases costumes, and he owns those costumes. And I always have a lot of fun seeing him walk around con, just like gathering all of the attention to himself as Frozone or Spider-Man, because he purchased a costume and put it on and just became the character. He's so good at that. And I just think that that's okay. And I think that that is one way. It may not be always a physical customization, but I think customizing your personality a little bit to fit your cosplay is another way that you would customize that cosplay. I don't know if that makes any sense. It makes sense up here. It's all that matters. See, for me, and customization of your cosplay, when it comes to cosplay, when you are so busy thinking about creativity and how much you love your character or your fandom, then there really is no room for canon or judgment or even feeling uncomfortable. If you are thinking out the box and you're being creative with your cosplays, then you're already making it yours. You're already customizing it. And I think that that is the essence of cosplaying, is the creativity that goes into it, and how much we can fit our personality and kind of meld it with the character that we're cosplaying to make it just this kind of new and improved character cosplay. I don't know if you could tell, I get really excited about that, but creativity is one of the biggest and main reasons that I got into cosplay, because I love seeing the different interpretations of cosplays. No one cosplay of a character looks the same. Nothing looks exactly like the character that we see in comic books or on TV, and it's okay because that means that it's ours. It's personal and it's creative. And so, like my husband said, if we're thinking of our cosplay as fan art, then all we're doing is creating cosplay to honor the fandom that we love. I love Star Wars. Oh my God. Like, I think that 99% of my brain is thinking of Star Wars 99% of the time because it's a problem. It's not a problem, actually, but I really do. And my favorite character in the entire Star Wars universe is Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano is thebomb.com. And I knew that at the time I wanted to cosplay Ahsoka after watching Clone Wars before this new season came out, I didn't have the time and or skill level to make the headpiece. I couldn't make her Leku, I knew that. But I really wanted to cosplay her. Her universe had a dress at the time that was the Ahsoka Tano dress, and I'm going to put a picture right here for you to see. And so I ordered the dress, and I thought, well, I'm just going to casual it, and I'm going to like wear the dress and, you know, walk around in the dress because it's a beautiful dress. And I didn't think it would fit, to tell you the truth, because I had to order it. And I thought, I think I'm going to do a human version of Ahsoka, which again is like a mashup or my personal interpretation of what would Ahsoka look like if she was human. And so I decided that instead of trying to make the headpiece out of whatever materials that, you know, silicone, I don't know. See, I still don't know because I'm in front of a camera and I can't think when I'm in front of a camera. But I wanted to use human hair and make a wig that would resemble her Leku or her headpiece. And I think that because of my skill level at the time, I'm really good at making wigs. That's something that I can do and I do well. And so I made a wig that looked like Ahsoka's headpiece, and I wore that with the dress, and people were like, oh, I get it. I know what you're doing. But more so than what people thought about my cosplay is how I felt in that cosplay. I didn't make any part of that dress. It fit like butter. But I walked around Dragon Con that entire day. I must have been prancing all over the place because I thought I was like the bomb, right? I felt like Ahsoka that day because I decided that I really wanted to cosplay that character. I loved Ahsoka and I wanted to be Ahsoka for a day. And I didn't think that there was anything that should stop me, even if I didn't know how to make the headpiece. And so I wigged it up, put the dress on, put on some boots that match the dress and some tights that look like her leg color, her skin color, I don't know. And I walked around Dragon Con and had a really, really good time. And so I think that if we think creatively and think outside the box, there should be nothing that stops us from cosplaying a character that we love. So I think in closing, I would say a couple of things just to remind you. One, always try to be intentional about loving the different parts of yourself, no matter which parts those are. That is an important part of body positivity and something that if we practice within ourselves, and I'm talking to myself too, if we practice it within ourselves, then we will be less likely to judge other people based on their body parts. And kind of jumping on top of that, the next thing that I would want you guys to kind of leave this panel with is not to wait until you have the perfect body or whatever to cosplay a character that you love, because you never know. We're kind of in the middle of a pandemic, and not to be like a sour Sally or whatever. You know what? If there's a Sally watching, I am so sorry. Just, you don't want to be a negative Nancy. Sorry, Nancy. I don't know. What am I going to use? I feel bad using names now. My point is that I don't want to be negative when I say this. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and even outside of a pandemic, outside of anything that's going on in the world, we never know if we're going to make it to see tomorrow. And so cosplay the character today. Don't wait until you have the perfect whatever, or you da-da-da-da-da-da. Just do it. Just find a way to do it and do it. And I think that as you do it once, you'll do it again. And you'll get better and you'll get better. And customizing the cosplay now will help you gain the skills that you need to improve your cosplay so that you can bring it up to whatever point you want to or you think will be that is your end goal cosplay. Work towards that, but start now. I will say this though, in customizing your cosplay, you still want to keep the essence of your character. You don't want to customize your cosplay so much that they're unrecognizable, but I hope that that was implied. You want to make sure that if you're playing Raven, you still have the essence of Raven so that people can recognize that you're Raven and so that you can recognize you're Raven. But customize Raven so that you feel comfortable playing her. Or Beast Boy, or Robin, or Cyborg, or Starfire. Obviously, I'm watching Teen Titans later on today, but you know what I mean. Whoever the character is, customize that character so that you feel your best playing that character. And honestly, at the end of the day, when you're cosplaying a character, it is about two things. How you feel, which is the most important thing, playing that character, and how you make others feel when they recognize a character that they love and you're the one cosplaying it. Because when you're in your cosplay, the energy that you put forth is the energy that people will capture. It is what people will grab onto. If you're uncomfortable or unhappy in your cosplay, then people are going to feel that. They may not say anything. They may not want to be around you in that cosplay. But if you're excited and you're comfortable and you're loving everything about what you're playing or how you're cosplaying that character, people are going to feel that. And even if you don't think it's the best cosplay that you can do, other people are going to love it because you love it. And so that's the most important thing. Customizing your cosplay helps you learn to love your cosplay skin. I keep saying that. Love the cosplay skin you're in so that everyone else around you can love it too. And that only encourages us and helps us grow as a community. So yeah, that's it for my panel. I hope that you guys learned something or that you were able to kind of reminisce about your favorite cosplays. And I hope that you kind of take that assignment seriously, really. Don't just leave here like, yay, customizing cosplay. Go and think of a character that you want to cosplay and a way that you can customize that character's costume so that you feel better in it. And so that when you cosplay it, you feel amazing in that cosplay. So that's your assignment. Go forth, go cosplay, go do the thing. I'm Fern, aka Purple Moon Cosplay. You can find me at all the places that I've listed below and to the sides and all of that. I've got lots of pictures of all of the cosplays that I've customized, and I hope that you guys follow me and enjoy those. Send me a hello and let me know you were watching this panel so that I can follow you back. I love seeing different cosplayers and all of their customized cosplays. And again, you know, just do you and be comfortable and love the cosplay skin you're in. Bye guys, enjoy the rest of your con.